What is going on, everyone? It's your boy Phil Shocker, the Natty City Joke, back with another draft analysis for you guys. That is right. This is like the sixth league you're gonna get from content from me, or fifth, one of the two. But anyways, yes, this is a lot of leagues, and for everyone's wondering, I'm gonna break the fourth wall with you guys. I've recorded already like the 5 or 6 draft analysis. Obviously, three of the 6 have already went out. Wait, I think it's 5 maybe, but three, basically over half of them have already been uploaded. There was MLG. There was wait, I didn't do the others one yet. Never mind. Well, there was MLG and VBL, which are going to be the main two that we're going to do, and then obviously this one plus my other two, I'm going to kind of balance out. And I am definitely going to basically again break the fourth wall here. I'm basically going to hold off on the not hold off on the recordings, but hold on to the recordings of the live game, and we're gonna go into that. So just keep that in mind when you see this. I might actually try to prioritize this after VBL and um, MLG 100% because it's one of a big league. Because we're gonna go ahead and just get into it. This is PAC, the Pokemon All Star competition that is run and owned by our man Sven Foon here. He actually gives out these applications and for all these multiple divisions, so everyone has a chance to play in the game. Uploading these games are optional; they are not recommended or required. But I'm going to because it's our first season, and obviously PAC is one of the big primetime leagues out there. So we're hoping to pick up a big victory and make a good stand for ourselves in this league. So if you guys are excited for this video, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Join the Full Shocker crew today because you're feeling with the king of the crew. That being said, let's go ahead and get into this draft analysis. So I had the second pick overall, I think, out of 16 coaches, I want to say. I could be wrong, but I think 16 coaches. And this was both a good and bad spot because we are strictly Paldea decks, and Paldea decks, in some terms, it gets limited and is very hard. So I had to really think this one out for a while on my picks. I had basically gotten the option to either get Palafin or Chimpao, which in my opinion were probably the two most broken Pokemon that we allowed. Obviously, there was things like Iron Bundle, Valiant, and all that, but I just couldn't pass up the opportunity on some of these Pokemon, and we're going to find out why. And we were given 120 points, I'm pretty sure, and we actually were pretty much big, heavy spenders with our team. So, kicking it off, I couldn't pass it up, guys. Being the second pick overall, I wasn't going to get this. I was going to get Palafin. And let's be honest, if you guys know me, I'm gonna grab this Pokemon no matter what because this is my favorite Pokemon this generation. And again, this is a Pokemon that I just absolutely love, and that is Chimpao. Chimpao, our boy Snow is back. We're currently actually using him in a different league, but I'm not gonna talk about that league just yet. But just know I have him there, but it's kind of a different format for him there. So that's just a little spoiler right there. But the main reason I'm using him again, because I know you guys hear me always say I don't want to use the same Pokemon throughout all the leagues I'm doing. But since again I'm going to be prioritizing which ones get uploaded first, I don't think it matters. But besides, again, this is my favorite Pokemon, and if I'm not given like a super early pick, I'm just not going to grab it because then I can't get it. If I'm like the 1 to 3 pick and this is an option to get, I'm going to take it because it is easily one of the best Pokemon in the Draft League format. This thing is insanely strong with Dark Ice Stab, and it's insanely hard to really prepare for. You can expect Choice Scarf, Choice Band, Heavy Duty Boots, Focus Sash. Like, there's a lot of things you can actually do with Chimpao. Also, we are allowing Terra Captains this season with a 1 to 3 ratio of our Terramons. And we can make a budget of 24 points with our Terras. So, but you could not use any mons that were from 22 and 20. Those mons were not allowed to run Terra in the format. Run in this league. So, I was really kind of thinking to myself here, what did I want to do with my Terrans? And that's what I kind of had to figure out for the draft. But Chimpao, absolutely love it. Now, getting into the second round, I literally, oh my god, was wondering what the heck I was going to have to do here and what I was going to have to decide on. But it's like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I really wanted a starter. Meowscarada, I knew that was going to not be an option for me, but it got taken from me. I actually kind of wanted Quackable, even though it was going to be a bit of a more of a weakness and a hindrance for my team. with how we're going to pair off with. But there was another starter I really wanted. And I honestly think, looking back at it now, I'm happy the starter made it to me. And it's the starter I'm pairing with Chim Pao. Because I think this plus Chim Pao is insanely good together. And that is going to be our boy Nile, the Skeledirge. Now, Nile, first off, is a reference to the Nile crocodile. He's literally a crocodile. So I know some people are going to say alligator, crocodile, alligator. You can determine whatever you want. But fire nickname. Aha! Aha! I'm sorry. Terrible. But this Pokemon is an absolute menace, dude. Its own setup move in Torch Song is so strong. This is a Pokemon that legitimately doesn't need to run any special attack, and it can just put in the work. Like, this Pokemon easily just goes and just clicks buttons. It just clicks Torch Song, it has Slack Off for recovery, and for its hidden ability, it does have Unaware, which, in my opinion, kind of holds him back from being that good of a starter with its typing, but it's not to where it's going to be detrimental and it's going to mess him up and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it has its benefit, it has its non-benefits. But this is a relatively good bulky fire type for us that can run heavy duty boots every single week if we really wanted to. And then again, we can make some shenanigans work with this mon where we can just run Torch Song plus Shadow Ball, which will check everything in the format essentially, and we just beat everything 1v1 essentially with Unaware. So really excited to try out Skeledirge. It definitely was a mon I was definitely not looking too highly as some of the best starters to use in Draft League, but maybe his appearance here will maybe change my opinion on it and go from there. Now, going to round 3, I wanted a dragon, and I was wanting to look into something of a dragon. There was Garchomp, which was there. There was Dragonite, I think, was still possibly there. No, maybe Dragonite got snagged. And then there was Salamence. I think Garchomp and Salamence both made it to me, I think, possibly. But I ultimately decided on Salamence. Now, the main reason why I went with that was because, again, I've never really used Salamence. I've used Salamence in leagues where I've taken teams up before and everything like that, but I've never actually used Salamence. And Salamence is really cool. There's a lot of cool, unique ways with Salamence. Salamence still has some good bulk to it, so we can bring kind of like its defensive ments and stuff like that. I wonder, does he still have Defog? He lost Defog. Okay, never mind. He's more now of an offensive Pokemon. But anyways, I still wanted a good speedy offensive Pokemon that was something pretty good. And I'm really excited to try Salamence. I'm really excited to try Farmersman. And yeah, this was a mon I was heavily considered to be a Terra Captain as well because of how good Salamence can be with Terra Flying and everything like that. So definitely was really excited for that. So really cool Pokemon there. Then coming into rounds 4 and 5, I needed to start getting bulk. I really, really need to start getting bulk because if I just did not get any bulk going, there was just gonna be no point for me to have a shot at winning, and I was gonna have a hard time. So, but I grabbed one that was relatively bulky for a grass type, and is actually a really good Pokemon as well. And is a Pokemon I have never tried. I've only technically used it in one game of a league that I tried in the first time, but I left that league because the league was dead and no one was taking that league serious, and everyone just kind of joked off and didn't really care for it. But for me, that Pokemon is Breloom. Now, Breloom's not really a defensive Pokemon. He's meant to just hit and go, hit and run, and just do the work, you know? So, but I am very excited to try out this Pokemon. It is going to be an absolute amazing mon. Priority and Mach Puncher is really good. Super strong attacker. Decent enough fast spore user in the game as well. Also, with this item right here, Loaded Dice, Bullet Seed, baby. Because if you guys don't know what Loaded Dice does, this moves where hits that are 2x5 hit 4-5 times. Basically, this guarantees at the lowest, I'm hitting 4 times. And the highest, I'm hitting 5 times. So, yeah, I am super excited for Breloom. I think this item really ups Breloom's usage, in my opinion, in the draft league scene. So, I'm super excited to try Breloom. I'm hoping to do well with Breloom and also having a fun time. But now, we get to my bulky water. Now, in a different league, I couldn't really get the best bulky water I really wanted, but I made sure I was looking at bulky waters, and there was not really much. There was only one true bulky water left, and I was hesitant on wanting to try this Pokemon to see if I'm going to like it, but until I try it, I won't know if I like it. So, with that being said, we're picking up your boy, the Dom. on. A second unaware user, which is really, really good. What's also really good is that we have Water Veil and Oblivious. So again, we can't be taunted. We can be immune to Intimidate, guaranteed, and having Water Veil, I can never be burned. This Pokemon is stupid defensively. This thing is monstrous. The only thing that holds this thing back from being such a fantastic wall is obviously its Spadef. But again, with an HP and just running like max Spadef with Careful or Sassy or whatever you want, it's fine, dude. It works well with it. But the Donzo, with having another unaware user, really pressures the teams to be very careful on bringing any potential setup against my team. Because if they see both these two, they gotta know that one's unaware, and they can't really set up freely until they find out which one's the unaware user, or which one's the oblivious, or if they're gonna think the Dondozo is gonna be oblivious. It's because here's the thing: Dondozo's three abilities all work well. It's gonna definitely be a little bit of a challenge to pick which ability I'm gonna have to run with it, but the Donzo baby, like, here's some of the reasons why Donzo is so stupid. It has Body Press, which is super annoying. Chilling Water, which can use up its decent enough special attack just to be a nuisance. Then there's things like Curse, which is annoying. There are things where it can run Rest and Sleep Talk. Then there's options to run Yawn. This thing is so dumb. But I'm super excited to try Dondozo. I'm hoping to do well with it. I know my boy Just Lucas loves this Pokemon. I think it's one of his all-time favorite Pokemon from this generation, and he knows how to use it well. So hopefully I can use this Pokemon well and have some fun with it this season. So definitely looking forward to trying that out. And with that being said, I actually got skipped in the draft, so I had to do two makeup picks, and I went with this first because I want to prioritize this, even though I was going to get it. We went with Guitar Hero Toxtricity, which will be our Terra Captain, and I did go with it, guys. I was really hesitant, but if I was gonna grab Toxtricity when there was like something like Raichu and stuff like that, I could have got maybe a cheaper electric, and I could have actually made some extra points make work. I went with Toxtricity, and I just knew I had to grab as my Terra Captain because it is just a super powerhouse of a Pokemon. This thing with Scarf or Specs every single week can do the work. Shift Gear sets are really, really good with Life Orb or Silk Scarf, and just this Pokemon is going to hit. There's always no switching. Ghost can switch in, but then Ghost gets counteracted by the Overdrive. Then Ghost then kind of doesn't deal with Chien-Pao. It doesn't deal with even Nile. They're slow, bulkier Ghost types as well. So I'm super excited to try Toxtricity this time around because you guys don't know, I have tried Toxtricity in the past in Generation 8, and I just did not know how to use that thing properly, or I just couldn't get the thing to work, and I wasn't having the best time with it. So I ended up just leaving it and just not bothering with it anymore. But I love this Pokemon. It is, again, my second favorite Pokemon in Generation 8, Dracovish, all the way fans. But I'm super excited. Terra Normal, get ready for that. I think it's just gonna be given. But I want to see if I can try to make some other things work with it, so it's just not always Terra Normal, so people don't always sleep into that site that it's gonna be easily Terra Normal every single week. So going to my next pick, though, I needed to get some hazards because right now we don't have any hazards, I think, and I needed to grab a few hazards. But I also wanted to get something that was a good steel type, because all the best steel types are gone. All the fairies were essentially gone. I even got sniped on Tinkaton. Tinkaton, of all Pokemon to get sniped on. But I did decide there was one steel type that was the best of the best for what was left. And with some parts of my team, this actually can provide a bit of a tricky scenario for some people because what do you do against Trick Room against my team? I've got great speed, but now I've got Trick Room with some Trick Room mons. What are you going to do? And that's where our boy, Bell, the Bronzong, comes in, baby. And Bronzong's going to be an awesome Pokemon. I've used Bronzong in the past. I don't think I've ever finished a league with Bronzong, but there was a time I think I used a Bronzong to beat an Arcanine with Iron Defense Body Press. And Bronzong, I think, got like 3 or 4 kills in that game. So I actually think Bronzong's gonna be nice. I don't think I've used a full season with Bronzong, but I have used part of the season with Bronzong because I think I might pick up transactions or something like that. Maybe I don't know, but super excited to give Bronzong a try. Never really used this Pokemon. Options to Levitate and Heat Proof is really good, so it's gonna play those mind games with my opponents. I have to really think which ability I am going to be every single week, unless they can really figure me out there. But again, strong defensive mon, they can go mixed defensive, full Phys Dev, full Sped Dev, easy and go physical or special in every single given time of the week. Stealth Rocker, and it's just gonna be overall an amazing Pokemon. And speaking of Pokemon I've never drafted before, I have had the biggest interest in trying this thing since Generation 8. And I feel like it's slightly better to try in this generation when there's not a ton of ground types until Ursaluna becomes a thing. And then that becomes the #1 ground type of the world. But I'm going with Sandaconda. Now, Sandaconda provides a really good physically defensive wall for a lot of teams out there, obviously with stats like Coil and stuff like that. It's another stealth rocker, which is really great for our team. It's got glare support, rest and sleep talk with Stand Spit. Stand Spit can be really good because it pairs well with things on our team potentially. But most of the time, I'm probably going to be running Shed Skin because Shed Skin really helps out in terms of getting rid of any sleep, paras, burns, toxics, all that stuff. And rest sleep toxics are also very annoying as well. But again, this is another Pokemon that just really can just sit on teams if they don't have the proper answers for it. So we're naming it Python because it's technically an Anaconda, but with the color scheme it has, it's a Python. Like maybe a retic Python or something like that, possibly. But I'm super excited to try Sandaconda. It's been a Pokemon I've actually had a big interest in trying. I was going to really want to use low tier league and try it in low tier because low tier would be so much fun with it. But super excited to see how Sandaconda does. And last but not least, we have Monkey. I really needed a Ghost Resist. I already have like a Dark type, and you know, it could be normal Terra, but I have nothing else for Ghost. Ghost really hurts me because even with my Dark type, Ghost spam I can only take maybe 2 or 3 hits, and that's it. And if I ended up being weak to half health and I can 2 a KO me with like a Specs Ghost move and it's faster than me, then faster than me, or if it's just like Scarf Modest and I can 2 a KO me, then there's no point in it. So I needed somewhat of a ghost resist, and that's where Monkey comes in. Oh, I didn't say this before. Python will be our second Dynamax captain, our Terra captain, because I do think there are some sets that could work with Sandaconda being a Terramon in this format. So that's going to be something to really look for. But to Vigoroth, it's got decent stats across the board. With Eviolite, it makes it relatively defensive. It gives us another relatively speedy thing, which is really good. And it can check on Ghost. It does have access to Shadow Claw, and it's a decent enough Pokemon. I don't think it's going to be like the world's terrible Pokemon. And if we can bring it to a game or two, then that can really help us out. So I'm really excited to try this Pokemon out. I've never used it. I tried using Vigoroth before in WC, if you guys remembered. I dropped that bad boy in a heartbeat for him because I really wanted Vigoroth to pop off, but unfortunately there was just never games that could seem to bring Vigoroth. So who knows this time around? But I'm super excited to try Vigoroth. I'm super excited with this team. It's definitely a really different team from what I'm used to because it doesn't have a ton of offense. I mean, it has solid offense with Chimpow, Mence, Breloom, Toxtricity, and then having that decent enough offense with the Dirge, Dawn, and Zong, even Anaconda. But this is a little bit more of a different team for me. But I'm super excited to give it a shot. But yeah, if you guys are excited, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. And witness our week 1 in the near future. With that being said, though, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!